G'day, ZiggyD here with some Path of Exile news. So I was pretty much just, sitting here minding my own business, playing some StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarms, thinking that I had until Thursday until the next Path of Exile patch would be released. However, the patch notes for Path of Exile's patch 0.10.3 have just been released, and the patch is actually coming in about 14 or probably 12 hours by the time you catch this video. So that's pretty exciting stuff. I'll just accept this friend invite. And I've picked out some of the really interesting patch notes from this patch because there's some pretty major ones in it actually. So let's start off by looking at some of the new features. First up, we have one that I'm sure a lot of you have been preparing for, and something I've been preparing for, is the addition of the new Dexterity Strength melee skill, Cyclone. So for those of you who didn't see it, I'll put a link in the description below to a video of Cyclone that was released actually with the last patch. It's of the cosmetic microtransaction skins for the ability. There's two separate skins. There's like a blue effect, and then there's like a saw blade gear sort of effect for the Cyclone skill. But that allowed us to see what the skill's actually going to work like, and it kind of looks like Whirlwind from Diablo 2. Pretty exciting stuff. There's no spells or abilities in the game currently that allow you to cast while moving, except for like mobility skills like whirling blades and things like that. But this seems more like a serious attack spell. So I've actually been gearing up this character for it here. As you can see, I've refitted ZiggyD Uketsu, which used to be my blood magic bow duelist, with some claws, and I've redone up my passive tree to take advantage of, a bit of a claw life leech build. I'm gonna do some sort of blood magic life leeching, cyclone whirling around, action build that I'm pretty excited to test out, and it's coming in 12 hours, so pretty exciting stuff there. So the actual skill itself is available from level 24. It's level 24 from the quest rewards for the Marauder, Duelist and Templar in normal, Lost in Love. So that's the Clarisa and Tolman quest in Act 3. Now that's fairly far to go in the game, and the Shadow gets it even further, with the Shadow getting it a Cruel Difficulty Hillock quest and the Ranger getting it Cruel Difficulty Brutus. So it's a fairly late quest reward. It's not like with the Witch with Incinerate last week that we had to just rush to level 10 to get. Didn't take very long at all, but to get this is going to be a little bit longer. So a little bit of a, maybe a little bit of a tip is, if any of you guys have some characters around the level 23 or 20 mark, or the just going up to level 20, or maybe you want to level a new character up to that, hang around. Don't do those quests yet, because you have an opportunity to make a little bit of cash if you don't actually want that skill for yourself. There's going to be very high demand for Cyclone when it first comes out, and since it is such a late quest reward, something it's pretty hard to actually just rush a character for, people will be willing to pay for it. I know I'll be willing to pay for it. So if any of you guys have some, want to throw one my way, I'll pay you like a GCP or something for it in default. So if you want to make a little bit of extra currency, that might be one way to go ahead and do it. So in addition to Cyclone, we have 4 unique items, which seems to be happening each patch until all of the Diamond Supporter unique items are made. 3 of them are designed by Diamond Supporters, and one of those is a unique endgame map. So that's pretty exciting. I have no idea what it will actually be. I assume it's going to be something that has a lot of value, like has potentially really good drops, because the other unique map, and the reason it's so rare and is a unique map, is because it's all chests, no mobs, and extra chest item rarity, so or quantity or something like that. So you get a lot of loot from this essentially non-combat map. So I imagine the other unique map will be something that has a lot of potential value to it, or maybe is very challenging, or maybe is just interesting, something a Diamond Supporter thought would be a bit of fun to play. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. I don't have any clues yet. Another feature is that the line for each stat on the character panel, which I'll show you here, is having an alternating color scheme. So this was actually suggested on Reddit a couple days ago, and it just goes to show again how responsive grinding gear games are to feedback from the community. Basically, this is very hard to see. Like if you're looking at fire resistance here, you're looking at, is fire resistance the 3 or the 75 there? Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to pick out. So this is just going to have a light brown, dark brown, light brown, dark brown, so you can see the stats a bit easily. So that's a very welcome change, something that frustrates me sometimes to read it, and I didn't know why there was no lines there or anything. So a very good addition there. The other feature addition is that while on the ground, gems with quality will now say superior. So that was added back to white, yellow, and magic items a little while back, and now it's being added to gems, so you can spy those quality gems out much more quickly now and grab them when you're at a party and things like that. So that's pretty much it for the features. Now let's take a look at some of the balance changes, because those are the other major ones. First up, we have the damage of Incinerate has been increased by 12.5%, so that's a fairly hefty damage increase, and it's something a lot of people were asking for. That some people were saying, that Incinerate didn't feel like it just did enough damage. I felt like it was pretty good at low levels, but I think it was more of an end-game viability thing. However, I don't know if this will make the spell more viable than it was, because I think the main issue a lot of people are having with it is its obscene mana costs. It's a very expensive mana cost ability, and a lot of people feel that it's only ever viable on totems, and we already have flame totems, so it was kind of a weird spell on that, despite being very cool. So maybe they'll also have to tweak the mana, or maybe people will find out a way to make that work in certain builds, make the mana cost not such an issue. Maybe it can be a very powerful spell. We'll have to wait and see how that goes, but for now it's got a damage increase. The next balance change is that there are now 4 new energy shield passives behind Chaos Inoculation. So they tested this a little bit on alpha before open beta actually hit, and then they pulled it back. But just recently they put a unique item in that essentially gives you a form of Chaos Inoculation. It stops chaos from hitting your life, but allows you to have a low life build, so you can take advantage of a lot of low life uniques and skills and things like that. So people were really creating a lot of low life builds, and that's good. That's a good thing. But it meant that Chaos Inoculation, the actual passive, was becoming very underused, or grinding gear games could foresee it becoming very underused. So this is pretty interesting. There's 3 of the nodes are 8% additional energy shield, which are okay, and then there's also a new notable passive called Infused Shield, which has a 20% multiplicative energy shield bonus. So that means, I'm pretty sure that means it's going to be 20% more energy shield, which is huge. It's a massive passive. So this means I think CI builds, or energy shield builds, that are mostly energy shield now have a real reason to go for Chaos Inoculation again. So if you're playing a Chaos Inoculation character, or you're leveling one up, plan out at least 4 points to throw into those passives, because they are going to be very good. The final change is actually a huge nerf to life gain on hit. So life gain on hit is now scaled by damage effectiveness of a skill. So I don't know if I have any here that have damage effectiveness. Let's see if I can. Whirling Blaze, damage effectiveness 80%. So what that means is that it takes 20% of the damage away from the skill itself, and also from any other damage bonuses you have, like say if I have added fire or something like that, or added lightning damage. It scales those back in damage. It's meant for skills that attack quickly, so that they can be balanced, so they don't, because otherwise you could stack these damage bonuses and have it do a lot of damage and attack quickly. So it's sort of a balancing thing. But now life gain on hit is being balanced around that as well. So that means, well, mainly it means that lightning arrow builds that are stacking a lot of really high level lightning arrow with lots of support gems on it, and usually blood magic or something like that, using life gain on hit to support the lightning arrow, are going to have a hard time supporting it now, because lightning arrow has damage effectiveness scaled back by quite a bit. So if you're playing a lightning arrow build and just after the patch you notice you're not able to support your ability now with life gain on hit, then you're going to have to either invest in some more passives, or maybe stack some life steal or something like that as well. As I said, that's a pretty big nerf to life gain on hit. I think it's even going to affect melee a little bit as well, with like cleave and stuff like that, because cleave has also damage reduction, especially when dual wielding. I'm not sure if that affects it as well, but that's going to be getting less life gain on hit as well now. So something to be very careful of, especially if you're in hardcore and you're relying a lot on life gain on hit for survivability, because it is about to undergo a big nerf. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this patch. Overall, a lot of big changes and pretty exciting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to trying out Cyclone. As you can see, been planning out this build, and hopefully I can make a build that works with it pretty interesting, and I'll show you guys when the patch comes around, since I don't actually have to level it. It's already leveled. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.